Hello, I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Report for Wednesday, May 23rd. Why BDS is just wrong. BDS means boycott, divest, and sanction, and it is an international collaboration of sub-organizations that seek to delegitimize and demonize Israel, blaming it for nearly all the ills suffered in the Middle East. And they do this under the guise of being a human rights organization specifically targeting how to better the lives of Palestinians. In reality, it is anti-Semitic and no more a human rights organization than any Till the Hun youth group might have been. Active often on college campuses, but also within the communities of the arts and in economic organizations and academic groups, BDS seeks to put pressure on the general public to boycott any products made or distributed by Israel, divest in any investments into Israeli firms or organizations, and actively sanction Israel and Jewish organizations in efforts to starve it from existence. All of this in the name of trying to help the Palestinians, whom they would claim suffer a multitude of ills because of the state of Israel and its policies. This position is noted as false and unsubstantiated by numerous international communities, more than I can particularly list. More mind-boggling is that BDS has momentum on college campuses. And I don't know why that is, since the communities of college campuses are supposed to seek truth and test for it and use critical thinking. But as some examples, the U.S. federal government already has laws on its books for decades making it illegal to discriminate against Israel or its peoples and organizations, especially with any federal funds or interests. Over 26 U.S. states have passed legislative members that not only recognize BDS as anti-Semitic, but noting that state organizations cannot engage in business or with their funds any businesses that are involved with BDS activities or who do business with organizations that are, for example, banks that hold the bank accounts of BDS organizations. BDS initiatives have been voted down by college student bodies repeatedly over the past few decades. However, some do indeed pass. Germany has been quite active at both the national and the municipal level to pass laws against BDS, repeatedly noting the anti-Semitic nature of these organizations and their attempts. Various specific members of the European Union are also voicing and rallying for anti-BDS measures to take place. Moreover, Arab influencers themselves are noting the absurdity of the BDS stance and how Israel's neighbors are increasingly recognizing the benefit of Israel to the region, especially concerning Iran. Bahrain, for example, came out publicly noting that Israel is indeed allowed and within its rights to defend itself against the missile launches from Syria of Iranian origin. Back in 1968, the Arab mantra was monolithic. No recognition of Israel, no peace, no normalization. While this mantra is the mantra of BDS and also the mantra of terrorist organizations, including the Hamas and, of course, the PA. It is not necessarily the stance now taken by all the Arab surrounding neighbors of Israel. While it may be stated policy in some places, these nations are often undergoing secret talks and actions with Israel, especially when it comes to security and anti-terror. As of today, pilots from the UAE engage in joint missions in Greece with Israeli pilots, even though there's no formal diplomatic relations between the two. When President Trump met with various Middle Eastern leaders last month to discuss the issue of how to better the lives of Palestinians, the PA did not show up. However, Israel did, and so did Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and others. A writer named Bassam Eid, a Palestinian Arab who is wholeheartedly rallying for partnership, peace, and normalization with Israel, has noted that since 2005, the withdrawal from Gaza has left the Palestinian people in worse shape and with worse leadership than ever before, and that it's not the fault of Israel. UNRWA is also part of this problem, he notes. Eid has also noted publicly that the U.S. and Israel are the loudest voices in trying to actually change the situation for the Palestinians in Gaza. He noted specifically that it is their own leadership who is the enemy to the people and the enemy to progress and prosperity as well as peace. Eid is a Jerusalem-based writer and a human rights activist, and he's publicly congratulating just this month in his recent article Israel on its 70 years of existence and noted its contribution to world technology, innovations, and efforts in peace. And he is specifically calling for his Arab brothers to recognize the Trump administration's shift in the narrative and to normalize relationships and peace with Israel. Israel is here to stay, he notes, and we are all better for it. Students for Justice in Palestine. Maybe you should think about having Bassam Eid as one of your guest speakers at your various campus locations throughout North America. He might provide some insight that you need to be aware of. Shavua Tov. Have a great week.